Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. What's going on, people? Back with another one. You already know what it is. Mac World Live at 5, baby. Back in here, man. What's going on in that? Man, that damn what was it? Sriracha, cheese steak, blue cheese, and sriracha sub. Oh man, did a number on me. It did a number on me. I was out of there. I had it was good though. The combination was good. Blue cheese and sriracha. I wouldn't have thought about it. Yeah, it was good. It was good. The blue cheese crumbles. You get that big bite of sour cheese. You know what I'm saying, with your cheese steak. And you get that hot sriracha. You know what I mean? It was good. Different, but it was good. I ate probably like 3/4 of it. All them fries and that cherry lime shake. Now the cherry lime shake was good, but I question the cherry lime, whether that was cherry lime or not. Cause it ain't taste like cherry lime though. It tasted like something. But you know what it tasted like? You remember it was some candy called Laffy Taffy that kids used to eat. You remember Laffy Taffy? And the Laffy Taffy tasted it was supposed to be cherry, but they could never get it never really tasted like cherry. It just tasted like red. You didn't know if it was strawberry, you didn't know if it was raspberry, it just tasted reddish. You know what I mean? And that's what that shake tasted like. It tasted like red with a little green in it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't taste like cherry lime. It tasted like red and green. My taste buds black on what? Let me get some of that red drink looking ass. But nah, actually put me out though. I was like, oh, it was alright. It was pretty decent. But what's going on with y'all, man? It's a dreary, gloomy Monday today. Nothing really, in the way of the weather. I'm hoping that let me see, is it past 2 minutes? I'm hoping my shit don't start messing up. You know what I mean? You know how the weather have make your electronics get all goofy. I'm hoping that don't happen here, but we gonna thug it out though if it do. But yeah, I got some good ones for y'all today, man. We gotta talk about. I came across this funny story, and it just reminded me of like some people will lie for no reason, and they'll swear. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's when you in the moment and you get caught, or you just get put on the spot in the moment, and you just think about like lying, but you don't think that that might be a lie that you'll have to keep going with, or you might not even be able to. You might have already exposed yourself before you decided to perpetuate it, right? Because this dude told this girl, he was like, he wore these contacts, and I know a dude that did this. I know he ain't watching this, you know what I'm saying? Some of his people might be watching it. But we went to college with this dude, man. He used to wear these blue contacts, and he swore to people them was his eyes. Dude constantly wearing these blue contacts. And so a girl came across a dude she was talking to like that, and her reaction was just funny. So I'm like, yeah, we got to talk about that. And yeah, so it's crazy. And then I don't know if y'all been keeping up with it. I might even be a little bit behind the fold. And Annette say she ain't know nothing about it, but like the YSL trial, all the stuff that been going on with them, that been going on like during the trial and with they lawyers getting arrested. Man, it's like an episode of Power Book 2 or something like that. You know what I mean? How the lawyers be in with the defendants and all type of shit. It's some crazy stuff going on like that with with the Young Thug trial. So we gonna look at all that, and then I try and keep a little serious note in there. So I came across another good clip with this guy, this white guy, and he was explaining something that I have elaborated on here a few times, but he was talking about like let me see, it's gonna be another long 2 weeks. He was talking about basically what, as far as like him being a white dude, like with white people, what they scared of, you know what I mean? And like the way they feel, what make them feel the way they feel. He was breaking the fear down. It wasn't just like, oh man, they scared it, man. They like caring like this. And like he was busting down like where the fear actually originate from. And I was like, yeah, that's some interesting shit. And so I said, I got to let my people know. Yeah, no. And so we gonna check that out. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting stuff, But yeah, you know what we do. And before we get into that, gotta get these analytics together. So yeah, we just gonna get it going. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Y'all already know what it is. Mac World live at 5. Let's go. I got you. I get it. Let me just give credit where it's due. Where is the credit go to? It's not you. I do not edit. I'm one of the chosen few that can get up on the mic and just do what I do. So you can call me One Take Drake, and I'm most hated like the nigga Shake off of Love Is Blind. I'm one of a kind. I told your ass before, but I guess I gotta remind. I come from Birdline, and no, I am not signed. I am a big deal. My shit has been real, like I'm from Israel, but I'm not Israeli. What I do, I come through, I'm like Melly. I been demonico. What I wanna do, I wanna just get a hoe. Take her ass to Maguanago. Why she there, man, that's for Sean to know. When I come down on the strip, say Geronimo. Pussy get slammed like that 6 domino. Yup, that's the way your primer go. You pull up in the nice dress and I'm in the clean whip. Then we just do some obscene shit. Buffalo County nigga on some clean shit. I been doing this shit from way back. You can go on and hit the playback. Yup, I never been a rat. Always been about the cheese though. When I get some weight, all I do is heave ho, heave ho. That mean I move it. All I gotta do is talk it and then prove it. What I do, I spit real shit up in my music. Eastside Buffalo County nigga, how we do it, bitch. And it's not an anomaly. I be everywhere where your mama be, where your auntie be, and your uncle serving. That's how it do. Pass the ball off like Gervin. Hey, Mac World live at 5. Let's get it, y'all. What's going on? Shout out to the mods. Shout out to Annette. Shout out to Evie. We was messing around with that little freestyle yesterday. But yeah, man, so let's get right on into it, man. I told y'all this Young Thug trial. Annette, you said you ain't know nothing about it. Well, you finna learn today, cause it play out like an episode of Power. You know what I mean? It play out like an episode of Power or something like that. All the stuff going on, lawyers involved, everything. Let's go.
The Young Thug RICO trial is a complete disaster. In the last 48 hours, stuff has happened that almost feels like it could be scripted, but it's not, obviously. One of Thug's co-defendants, Lil Rod, apparently smelled like marijuana in court, and they took him out, strip searched him, and he started screaming, and it was a whole scene. And then today, Miles Farley's defense lawyer got arrested for bringing prescription medicine into the courtroom, and then accidentally hitting his phone on an officer and getting charged for battery on an officer. Let's get right into it, boys.
That was the lawyer.
Screaming in the background, that is Lil Rod, one of the YSL members. He got taken back to the back of the, to be searched because they smelled weed coming off of him. And apparently they found weed in his underwear that was sewn together. Yeah. I don't know. I guess someone gave him underwear that had weed in it, pretty much, is what I'm getting from this. He had a suit on, and they made him take the suit off on body cam and everything, and then they made him take his underwear off. Or actually, I think they had to forcefully take his underwear off because he wouldn't, because he probably knew he had weed on there. This whole case has been kind of...
Hey, y'all see my guy right there? That's when he was screaming when they took his drawers off that he had the weed sewed into the drawers. Dog gonna be like, like, bro, they still gonna find the weed. They don't. He tried to throw it like a kid do. You know what I'm saying? Like, like dog just tried to scream about it. Like, bro, they were still gonna find that weed in your drawers, ply. What you saying? That's stupid. Why would he do that, man? Man, your lawyers is criminals. You a criminal. Everybody criminals. They like, fuck it.
Will he take his underwear off because he wouldn't, because he probably knew he had weed on there. This whole case has been kind of chaotic with drugs, pretty much. There was a drug exchange at one point in January.
And she had
And this is where another YSL member gets upset hearing his friend screaming in the back. Because he doesn't know what's going on. He probably thinks his friend could be getting beat up or something bad happened to his friend, but he was just getting searched for weed, pretty much. That's all it was. And this disruption yesterday caused everyone had to leave the courtroom, and this whole live stream got taken down, like leading up to this, and they had to delete it all, and they only put out this video. Thug's lawyer accuses this being a whole planned thing, that they came and got this guy on purpose and it was a big plan. I don't see how that could be possible. He tries to explain it here. I don't see how they could plan on this guy having drugs on him. That seems like a bit of a stretch.
Lawyers that's criminals, listen to this.
Is innocent. We came here to have a fair trial. And that's what you do. That's why we're going through this process that's taking months, because we're talking about something that could end people's lives. So it's worth it. I am not saying this is accurate, but I was told, and there's witnesses here, I was told that I could not call them, I don't know who they are, but that they were alerted to come to your honorable court today because there was going to be something newsworthy. This media was called allegedly by, now I'm not saying any of these prosecutors, but by somebody with their office.
It's a big accusation for a lawyer to say that the media was called by, the prosecution side because they knew that some big newsworthy thing was going to happen with this whole guy
like
screaming and being taken out for
scumbag
weed
shit
and
to
everything.
pull in court for a lawyer to try to say some he say, she say.
To be in the middle of a hearing.
That's why I'd like you to file a motion so that we don't further taint the proceedings, or I get a chance to kind of see what everybody's allegations are.
I don't know if I could file it, but somebody can, because I didn't speak to those people. But, Your Honor, that's exactly what we don't want to happen. Mr. Williams doesn't want to start over. He doesn't want to do this again. He is struggling every day. He gets here, as the court knows, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. He gets no sleep, but we are fighting for his liberty. And Your Honor.
Damn, that's sad. I low-key kind of feel bad for Thug. I do. Say what you want. So I'm going to feel a little bad for him.
If this was a orchestrated event, I feel like somebody needs to never do this again in any courtroom. And I know it was orchestrated because I know how Your Honor is. We've all do. We've been before each other a long time now. We were in the middle of a hearing, and to see one of our sheriff officials say, get Mr. Ryan, it was clearly, because nobody would disturb your court.
Well, they smelled weed on him. Someone smelled
ass.
weed on him, and he had weed on him. So that could be a real reason for them, stopping or just pulling him out real quick because someone walked by him or smelled weed directly on him. So, I mean, I don't think that's much of a disturbance. They stopped it for, I believe, 60 seconds to get him out of the courtroom, but...
It was clearly orchestrated with somebody. Yeah. So my point is, Mr. Williams has done nothing to my knowledge, to obstruct anything. I have begged this honorable court to consider bond, and I respect your ruling. But the truth of this matter is, today was outrageous, and it does hurt our system of justice. And I ask the court ever allow, if it happened, a spokesperson with the DA's office or anybody to have some inside information and make this really a farce. This was an embarrassment. Thank you, sir.
Just like to state for the record and for clarity's sake that
I just like to state the prosecutor got a big ass booty. Look at the dude face right there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Come on, zoom it. Look at his face. It looked like he looking like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I would just like to state cheeks. But nah, so if y'all ain't keeping up, they talking about the disturbance that happened is like this embarrassment and all this and that, and the dude yelling with the weed in his drawers and all this and that and the third, right? But the fact of the matter is the disturbance came from their side. Like the dude, like this is going on. That's like basically it's the equivalent of pulling the fire alarm during the exam. And then you saying like, hey, like since it's been a big disturbance, why don't we just end the exam, or why don't I take it tomorrow? When you pulled the fucking alarm, you know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, it's crazy. This that type of shit they be pulling on power. The lawyer will try to create something to get like a mistrial or something like that. Shit crazy. Let's go.
Thank you, sir.
just like to state for the record and for clarity's sake that there's no way anyone from our office could have predicted the events that occurred today. To suggest that it was orchestrated by our office would necessarily lead to a conclusion that the results of today's events somehow were known to people other than the defendants in this case. And that's not possible. And to suggest that somehow this event of today was orchestrated would again necessarily imply that we knew that there would be wrongdoing going on, wanted to capture it on camera somehow. So I categorically object.
That's a good point, though, honestly. You gotta admit, how the fuck would they know there was gonna be weed on this guy's, sewn into this guy's underwear, dude? That's pretty much impossible.
To the idea that the state has somehow done some unethical thing and orchestrated an event that only the defendants knew. Thankfully, the sheriff's department learned was happening today.
No, I'm just, please, just sit down, Mr. Sharp. Just sit down. Okay. Just sit down.
Damn,
dude,
when the
yelling
judge
at
tell
this
you
lawyer
that,
right here.
just
Jesus,
sit down.
he says, just sit down, Mr. Sharp. Jesus, aggressive.
I've reiterated this time and time again about professionalism. I've tried cases in front of most all of you.
That's kind of sad. You looking stressed, bro.
I don't think that anybody in here intentionally comes into court and tries to disrupt our proceedings.
So all that nonsense happened yesterday, right? And today, even crazier shit happened, boys. One of the defendants, Miles Farley, the kid with the clothing brand, his lawyer was coming into court with prescription medicine, I believe, and got arrested for it. A lawyer got arrested for having prescription medicine. And I think it was in a different container, and they said it was illegal when it really isn't, apparently. And it's a whole shit show. You got arrested for it, and in the process of being arrested, he tried to give his phone off to someone and apparently like hit his phone on a police officer or something, like throwing it or something, and they gave him battery on a police officer too. So I'm sure he's gonna get all these charges dropped because they're kind of complete nonsense, but this is what happened. So here's the lawyer right here that got arrested. He's talking about it. I guess he's out on bond or something.
It's really an authentic misunderstanding.
Y'all look like a kid.
Intentional fake misunderstanding by them, but yeah, I tried to toss my cell phone to a colleague so I can continue, business while whatever was going to happen is going to happen, and it touched the bulletproof vest of one of the deputies, and now they're trying to say that that was some kind of attack or obstruction.
What a complete fabrication. Like, that's pretty crazy to me that they're able to charge him with that for just tapping his phone on someone. I'm sure there's video footage of this too.
Police can handle
I just thought that was insane that a lawyer got arrested in
and
this
they say
case.
that
Here it is, the lawyer getting arrested for that.
shit.
Like, that's just crazy to me, dude. The people enforcing the law should actually know the law before arresting somebody. Yes, and blah, blah, blah. Just say you have to keep prescription medications in their original containers. But if you read the entire statute, It says, other than individuals specified in code, blah, 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 person who has a lawful prescription is exempt. So he didn't break the law having it in a different container.
Anastasios Minetis. Investigators say he was arrested on 2 counts of prescription drugs, not in its original container. We're not sure if they were his prescription drugs. We're still working to find that out. We also know he was arrested on 1 count of obstruction, 1 count of simple battery on a law enforcement officer. More on that in a moment.
I feel like I'm watching a sitcom. Like this, none of this feels real, dude. Like all.
Right. It's like power. Like you got the lawyers bringing in drugs. You got witnesses with shit sold into their drawers. You got the obstruction charges against the police, assault charges against the lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Like all type of shit, man. It's off the chain. This YSL trial, I don't really know what to say about it. I don't want to say like it's going particularly good, but I can't say it's going bad either. It just seemed like a shit show. It just seemed like a bunch of, man, disorganized lawyers, a flimsy case, and a bunch of defendants, man, just, you know, that really don't want to be there, and they just really ain't taking none of the shit seriously. And in the middle of it is just, man, a famous rapper. You know what I mean? The shit gonna play out crazy though, man. But we gonna see. But nah, that's, you know, I don't know. That's it though. I guess, you know, as far as it go with YSL, they been, Young Thug, it been over a year. Gunna out. You know, and then it's funny because I'm looking at something where it say Gunna breaks silence after prison release. And I never looked at what dude said. I just know everybody was grilling him. But basically a lot of the RICO was contingent on YSL being proven as being like a gang or a criminal enterprise. So I think that's why everybody was kind of like he snitched, because they basically put it in there that, you know, he testified that YSL was a criminal enterprise, or he was willing to admit that it was. And I think that's just what they needed. You know, they didn't need much. They just needed that. Somebody who was a part of the organization to admit to that, I guess. And from there, they was just gonna run with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, they got what they want, man. And, you know, I guess, you know, it ain't really too much you could do. They haven't used Gunna's testimony yet, as far as I know. You know what I mean? So nobody could really say like he snitched like that yet, honestly, to tell the truth, until they see his ass on the stand. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't got no paperwork. Young Thug ain't said shit. We gonna see. It could have been a long-term YSL strategic move, but you know, we just gotta see, man. I know we don't get a lot of luck in the justice system. And it's because it go way back. You know what I mean? It go way back to like way back in the days with the way they treat black people historically, the amount of injustice we receive and just shit like that. And, you know, that kind of tie into my next clip, because not only do we know it and we endure it, but they know it too. And apparently, you know, that's one of the causes of why they act the way they act toward us. Let's go.
Every day, the white supremacists always have something in the back of their mind when it comes to black people. They know what they have done to us historically, even all the way up until 2023. You see, they would have that thought in the back of their mind about black people if they weren't doing us wrong. Understand? Black people never wanted to really get at them about it. Black people just wanted to live in peace. They even wanted to forgive black people, and yet these people still attacking black folks every day. But I want you to hear what this gentleman is going to say about what their greatest fear is with black folks. Let's roll that.
It is the stupidity of man to think that he can do evil, even some monstrous evil, and it won't have any backlash on himself. But of course, it seldom works that way. And the moment he figures that out, he starts looking for a way to avoid the repercussions of what he's done. This is what happened with slavery. In the early 1800s, as it began to look like the end of slavery might be on the horizon, white America started to be concerned that a day of reckoning was coming. The primary fear for the average person was of retribution and insurrection, and that was a reasonable fear. After all, it's illogical to think that you can do to a whole group of people what was done to African Americans and think that they will just take it lying down forever. And of course, there were things like the Nat Turner uprisings. But for the wealthy elite, their fears went beyond things like insurrection. They were worried about the financial impact. Remember,
can you imagine that shit? You working in the field, getting your back beat to the white meat while they riding around on them bicycles with one big ass wheel. You know what I'm saying? I'd be even madder that I'm a slave and they riding them stupid ass bicycles. I'm out here picking cotton so you could ride that dumb ass bike with that one ass big wheel. That shit pissed me off even more than the fact that I'm picking cotton. Let's go.
It was not just the cotton plantations that profited from slavery. Whether you're talking about the banks or the insurance companies, the railroads, even the newspapers, the fact is that almost every aspect of the American economy was at some level or another invested in the slave business. You also need to recognize that for the wealthy elitist who controlled this system, slaves were an asset as long as they were slaves. But at the moment they are set free, they become a liability. And what the elite knew was that the end of slavery would instantly release 4 million people into the economy who had been kept uneducated and effectively unemployable anywhere but the cotton field.
So that right there, that last 10 seconds of everything he said kind of prove everything that I be saying when I talk about it's a plantation nation, right? Because what do you always hear white folks saying? Get woke, go broke, right? Why would they use, and they talk about slavery, they purposely kept the people dumb, unemployable, so they couldn't go nowhere but the plantation. That's the only place they could find work. That's how they try and keep people today. They try and keep them mentally enslaved so they can't be nothing but, you know what I'm saying, whatever they be reprogramming black folks to be, whatever they be needing them to be. So this year, you know, it's you know, whatever it is, the plantation protocol. We got the sliders and the thugs and the, you know, of various new renditions and shit, you know what I'm saying? And then we just got the same old hoes doing the same stuff, dragging people down, kids running wild out here, terrorizing the streets. But you know, it's like they have you normalizing it, thinking it's normal. And when you do something else or you try to do something else, they will make fun of you or remind you of, you know, everybody else that ain't doing what you doing, that look like you, as to try to keep you back. Because now it's all mental. You know what I mean? It ain't actual cotton fields no more. But it's like they tell you, you get woke, you go broke. As long as you stay stupid and you dummy up, we'll pay you to act stupid and to be stupid. But you get woke, you go broke. Let's go.
The other fear that these people had was intermarriage between blacks and whites would lead to a loss of racial purity. The question was, what were they going to do about it? And their initial thought was that they would just send all the slaves back to Africa. This plan was called colonization, and it had broad support among the wealthy elite. In fact, the American Colonization Society was even funded by the United States Congress. But in the end, colonization proved to be unworkable, and the idea was eventually scrapped. But about that same time, a new philosophy was emerging in the world. It was called eugenics, and for some, it seemed like the perfect solution to what had become known as the Negro dilemma.
Now, he definitely touched on a lot of things. It's definitely, you know, the one part that was, you know, quite interesting when they wanted to send all of us back to Africa through the American Colonization Society. That's what actually created Liberia.
We would have been kicking it
and
right
it
now.
was shipping us back there, and they said it just didn't work for them. But you have to understand that shipping us back to Africa was actually done under Lincoln.
The other fear that these people had was intermarriage between blacks and whites would lead to a loss of racial purity. The question was, what were they going to do about it? And their initial thought was that they would just send all the slaves back to Africa. This plan was called colonization, and it had broad support among the wealthy elite. In fact, the American Colonization Society was even funded by the United States Congress.
And after Lincoln was, killed, I noticed that all that stopped. Because let's call it what it is. Black people were the labor force in America. Black people were all the builders, even after slavery. They wasn't building anything, so you ship all black folks back to the African continent, then who's going to build something? Who's going to do the work?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, America do that to everybody. They say, they'll say like, Mexicans is stealing jobs and all that shit. But then the Mexicans are stealing jobs except for their Mexican housekeeper, their Mexican gardener, and like they Mexican landscaper. They're practically like family. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, all the other ones, they don't know. Send them back. They stealing jobs unless you want one. The neighbors like that Mexican right there. Keep that one right there. You know what I'm saying? And they treat black people the same way. They want their black basketball team to dunk some balls. They want their black football team to score some touchdowns. They want a new black dance and some new black culture. They want to know what's a bop and what slaps and all this and that. But other than that, they don't want the people, and they don't want to deal with treating the people equally. Ricky Williams in the building. What's going on, my brother? He said most of us ain't from Africa. We was born here. Explain to me how the British got rid of all the Native Americans. Man, look, I'm going to tell you like this. There's two ways they did this shit, with the census and just with rebranding. You know what I mean? If you look on maps now, they just got a piece that looked like Africa missing a tooth, where they just took Egypt off of like the continent of Africa, just got a chunk of it missing. Now they say Egypt ain't part of Africa no more. And if you really look at the continent of Africa, it's connected to the Middle East and all of that. All up through like Northern Africa. They decide what's the cutoff point. They decided this is North America. This part right here, this is Mexico. We want this. Now this is Texas, Mexico. Y'all can't have that no more. Now everybody that's here, that was born here, that's Native American, now you a Mexican now. And this land ain't Mexico no more. So go further south to what's Mexico now, because you're a Mexican. We decided you're a Mexican. Wasn't nobody black when they came here, man. Africa is made up of a continent. Africa is a continent made up of 52 countries. My mom is from Kenya and speak 3 languages. They got all type of languages, traditions, all type of shit like that. But they came here and was all grouped together and just called black people. And that's where we lost our culture. We lost our last names. We got the last names of our plantation owners. Smith, White, Williams, you know what I'm saying? Johnson, Jackson, you know what I'm saying? All that type of shit, that's what they really stripped from us. But nah, man, they didn't get rid of no Native Americans, Ricky. They just rebranded them. They told them they was Mexicans now. That's why when you see a lot of the you go to like Southern California and all that, you see they do a lot of that on their cars. They put like that Aztec art on there and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Rebranding, folks, bro. That's what America good for. Let's go.
Because they sure didn't want to do it. They didn't want to get their hands dirty for anything, right? But he talked about eugenics. And this is why a lot of black people don't even trust the medical system at all in America due to that. So many experiments have been done to black Americans. Of course, we talk about Tuskegee and so many others that have been done to black people. Things have been done in prisons to black people, just to even test out their medicine to see what's going to happen. But every day in the back of their mind, they deal with that guilt, shame, and thought about black people and their retribution. So when you have a message like reparations and you're forceful with it, it starts to bother them because they think in the back of their mind, are black people actually going to get angry and do us something? When you were talking about George Floyd, in the back of their mind, oh man, they out there actually doing something in the street. Are they going to get me because I look like the police? That's what they think. This is why they always have this attitude that they scared of black folk.
And I don't know if y'all know, but whenever it's a like a tragedy or something like that that's public, like something like George Floyd happening, something like like Breonna Taylor, where it causes protests and stuff like that. I don't know if y'all know, but the gun sales go up. So a certain amount of that, I think, is they purposely display that. And the police and the NRA are real close. You know what I'm saying? So gun sales kind of low. It's easy for them to, and that's kind of a conspiracy, I will admit. But I'm not putting it past, the police and the system to do something like that and purposely like put it on display to kind of send a message. To me, I kind of look at it almost like a lynching. Like a lynching, they leave the body there. It was supposed to send a message. They show us these videos of people getting shot in the back, and like what was the kid, Tamir Rice? The police just rolled up on him and popped him right away. Before they even got out the cars, like a drive-by. Like, they'll show us this stuff and then they'll let us get mad about it while the officer is being protected by the police union. But in between that gap of time where anything is done, gun sales is up. You know what I'm saying? The fear creates the market. It drives the market for the gun sales and all that. So I think it's all kind of tied together, man. I don't, I could say that's a bit of a conspiracy, but they know, even like when it's market turmoil and they say it's like rumors of inflation and shit like that, corporations like that. You know what I'm saying? Like for everything that's broken for somebody else is profiting off of it. Even like when you think about the market, we got the stock market, but then we got whole hedge fund investors and stuff like that, and people that short sell the stock market, which is betting against it. So you got people always making money off of both sides of any situation. You know what I mean? George Bush and his family got rich off of selling weapons to the Nazis, but they was American. You know what I mean? Let's go.
And all of that. Because some black folks in their mind, especially when you're not afraid of them, and they know you're not afraid, they get really worried with you. But instead of dealing with their issues, they rather continue to attack us more and more and more. That's what they continue to do, instead of dealing with things the right way.
It works that way. And the moment he figures that out, he starts looking for a way to avoid the repercussions of what he's done. This is what happened with slavery. In the early 1800s, as it began to look like the end of slavery might be on the horizon, white America started to be concerned that a day of reckoning was coming. The primary fear for the average person was of retribution and insurrection, and that was a reasonable fear. After all, it's illogical to think that you can do to a whole group of people what was done to African Americans and think that they will just take it lying down forever. And of course, there were things like the Nat Turner uprisings. But for the wealthy elite, their fears went beyond things like insurrection. They were worried about the financial impact. Remember, it was not just the cotton plantations that profited from slavery. Whether you're talking about the banks or the insurance companies, the railroads, even the newspapers.
But it doesn't matter how they feel about us. It doesn't matter about their mindset at all. Only thing we got to focus on is ourselves, unifying in our community, focusing on what we need to fight for, like reparations, getting rid of the bootlicking, shucking and jiving raccoons that side with white supremacy, and making relations with black people all over the world, trading with each other, growing with each other. That's what we need to focus on.
What he talking about is called two things: Pan-Africanism and Afrofuturism. Pan-Africanism means branching out to other black people around the world. You got black people here, we literally create cultural capital. Everything we do get popularized and marketed into the billions and trillions of dollars around the world. You got whole K-pop groups that are basically just knockoffs of black 90s R&B groups. You know what I mean? Like, we creating this cultural capital. You go overseas and you see like Afro beats and stuff is blowing up and it's starting to reach the States over here. But then look who like Rema and like Wizkid are doing the songs with Ariana Grande and like Justin Bieber, you know what I'm saying? When they could be doing, they need to be, and it's gonna come, but they never gonna let the black unity come right away. But I'm waiting to see Wizkid and Roddy Ricch, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. That's gonna be fire, you know what I mean? Like, I'm waiting to see that shit like that. But that's Pan-Africanism. Afrofuturism is the idea of focusing not on where black people been, but where we want to go. Because we could sit up and we could talk to these people all day about slavery and how bad it is, the effects on it, how trauma is passed generationally the same way wealth is passed down, how poverty is passed on the same way, you know, privilege is passed on. But that's a waste of our breath. Where Afrofuturism is focusing, taking what you know, processing that, realizing that it ain't nobody else's process or nobody else's journey to go through, and then moving forward without having to explain yourself to nobody about where you going or why you going there. And I'm all for that. I'm all for some Afrofuturism, focusing on where we want to go as a people. We keep on having these same arguments about slavery and this and that and the third. Man, these folks know what the fuck they did, and they talk about it behind closed doors. We need to come to terms with that shit and not even have that discussion. We need to focus on, okay, knowing what we know. What the saying say, if you know, you know. And we definitely know. So we need to focus on what's next. You know what I'm saying? That's Afrofuturism.
Not these people. Because I would not want to be them. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be in a position where in the back of my mind I'm worried about somebody getting at me. I would want to be in that position. That's a bad position to be in. I would never want to live like that. But let me know what y'all think about, you know, what this man is saying here. Because they always had this attitude, what we going to do with black people?
They called it the Negro dilemma. We learned about that in school. They've been having that. They've been doing it since the slaves been free. And honestly, I think our music industry, our sports industry, a lot of things where they kind of railroad us into, defer us away from a lot of academic things, business industry, stuff like that, and push us certain ways, is part of their way of solving the Negro dilemma. It's like we gonna push them into sports or entertainment or prison. You know what I mean? And a lot of the sports and the entertainment, they try to intertwine with a prison culture. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's just all part of that same Negro dilemma problem that they've been talking about, you know, that they've been dealing with. Now, he said something tripped out, and I always thought about this. He said he wouldn't want to be them. He wouldn't want to live like that. I always thought about racism and the history of racism as being a tricky dynamic, because it's like you got two sides of a coin. Us being black, we only see one side of it, right? So we know how the oppression worked. We know how having to walk around somebody, racism is like somebody owe you money. They know they owe you money. They borrowed the money from you, and then they just walking around you acting like everything all good. That's how racism feel like for black people. You know what I mean? Kind of like one of them things. We supposed to play nice with some motherfuckers that fucked us over, right? So, you know, but on the other hand, have you ever thought about how it is on the flip side? Like he said, you got to run around feeling like you always got to watch your back and always paranoid about knowing what you did to these people. You wonder why they call the police on you just from seeing you. It's like they scared. That shit is ingrained in they soul, to be scared of you and to always think that after everything they put you through, everything they showed you, they used to put burnt bodies on postcards. They used to, like, all that stuff was meant to terrorize you, demoralize you. They used to have plays and shows dressed in blackface with big pink lips. All that shit was supposed to break you down mentally and make you hate yourself and all that. So when they see you somewhere around them, knowing that that was their history and that they had the same way we had to deal with it on one end, they had to deal with knowing that they was doing that and be okay with it and thinking like, well, the means is going to justify, the ends will justify the means. But the end wasn't getting us where they wanted us to be. We still here. They like, nah, I'm calling the police. That's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There, oh my God, he's over here. You be across the street. Oh my God, he's hurting me. Like, they know what to do. It's like, man, I'm finna cash in on what little privilege I did rob, steal, and kill for, and call these fucking police on this black dude for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's that fear, and you gotta live with that shit. Like, I be thinking about that. I had white friends that, you know, I was a friend, like just regular cool friend with them, looked at them like whatever, but then you come to find out things they might say about you behind your back, or like ways they might look at you, and it's all because of where you from, not nothing you did wrong to them, not no danger they was in or nothing like that. It'd be the contrary. They'll be mad because of, they will see how you went out to their fucking house and it was fucking cat shit all over the fucking place, and whatever, they custom made out or whatever or some shit like that, and then had a coke party or something. They'll come to your house, your shit squeaky clean, food on the oven and shit, and they'll kind of be pissed off because they want to think that they just inherently better than you, and then you'll find out they might talk shit behind your back, like, and it's always like stereotypical type stuff, but that's something that they gotta live with, and it don't come from like, oh man, you did this or you did nothing wrong or nothing like that. It'd be that guilt because they know that they have been taught to look at you a certain way, and in turn they think that you are supposed to see them. They've been taught to look at you as being down here, and they are taught that you are supposed to see them as being up here. So when they show you some, oh, fuck it, dude, you fucking didn't clean my room, right, bro? And they think you gonna be on some, oh, yeah, right, fucking, who the fuck cleans up, bro? But nah, they come to your crib, your shit clean, smelling good, all that shit. They feel hurt. They feel like you've hurt their whiteness. You've checked their superiority. It be dumb psychological shit. You don't even be aware of it. You be thinking like, my mama taught me if I don't clean up, she gonna whoop my ass and shit. Meanwhile, it's like, oh, fucking Sean, he thinks he's fucking bougie ass fucking black dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some shit like that. It'd be dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know, that fear they gotta live with. That's the flip side of it. And you know, I'm gonna end this on a little bit of lighter note with this last clip. And speaking of fear, maybe that's what leads some people to tell lies, right? That they know they ain't gonna be able to keep up with. Cause I know somebody that did what this girl is talking about this dude did in this next clip. And it's a lie, it's a dumb lie. What do you call somebody that tell lies that don't gotta tell lies? Is that a compulsive liar? Or is that what's the other one? It's compulsive liar, and I can't remember what the other one is. But whatever it is, man, listen to this though. This story was funny as hell. Check it out.
If you black and you gonna wear color contacts, fine. Okay? But be real about it. Like, that shit is kind of weird. That's a weird thing to lie about. I remember I was talking to this dude, and I was like, oh, you know, so why do you wear those contacts? Why do you wear those color contacts, right? These are my real eyes. They're hazel.
What is cap? What? That's cap.
You know what? And I said, no. On some of your pictures on Instagram, I can see a real eye color, which is just like mine. And in some of your pictures, you put the hazel contacts in. And you can tell they're hazel contacts because they literally look printed. He got them from the beauty supply store. I'm not an idiot. You know what this man told me? The brown eyes that I see are his actual contacts.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
And his hazel eyes is his real eye color. He just gets brown contacts so he can fit in.
Need to leave that dope alone.
You know what?
He need to leave that dope alone.
You know what?
Nah, fellas, let's get this understood, bro.
Oh shit. my mic. My bad, y'all. Shout out to Ricky. He say it's a habitual liar, and that's exactly what it is when it's just a habit to lie. EB in the building. What's going on with you, my brother? My brother. She say that's just lying for no reason at all, just to be talking. I know a lot of people that do that. Nah, but like Annette, I think that's a habitual liar. Like you tell her that ain't even lying to hear yourself talk, because that's obviously something you did, something you carried out, an observation somebody made about something that you actually did, but you just proceeded to lie about it without having to. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's like the habitual liar feel confronted about something, about shit they did, or they think they being judged about it. So that's why they lie. Like it's their habit to try to cover it up with the lie. I can't remember the exact science behind the two. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like it's a habit and shit, because dude said, man, these is my real eyes. She said the motherfuckers look like contacts from the beauty store, man. Like, and you know these girls, they be in that motherfucker every day, twice a day. So they know what's going on at the beauty store. She said these are the beauty store contacts, bro. This guy said, no, my brown eyes are the contacts. And the hazel eyes are my real eyes. I just wear the brown eyes to fit in. Nigga, who the fuck is you, Superman? So I said I wear the brown contacts to fit in. How the fuck you not fitting in by wearing with your regular eyes? That don't make no damn sense, man. And yeah, I know a black dude. Black as me. You know what I'm saying? No, fuck that. Dude was blacker than me. And this nigga used to wear blue contacts. He used to always wear this backwards hat and these blue contacts. And I used to think like, man, I wonder if that nigga take a shower with that hat on. Cause I ain't never seen that nigga take that hat off. Come to find out, even though we was in college, we was like in our early 20s, he was bald up under there already and shit. So I guess he figured like, man, I'm going bald. So like, let me wear these contacts to make my face more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And dog used to wear them blue contacts and shit, man, looking all crazy, like he's staring, like, you know, them blue eyes, them motherfuckers look cold and icy and shit, like, and dog would be looking like, bro, you black as hell with some blue ass eyes. And it's like, man, them, like, if you ask him about them being contacts, he'll say they is real eyes and shit. Like, just a dumb lie, bro. A dumb lie. Stop lying, man. Like, why would you do that shit? But it was stupid because I guess, and like with this girl right here, and shout out to her too for having all that real hair and shit. I guess like with that girl right there, you know, it was a dumb lie, but he thought like, man, this is my chance to be interesting to this girl. Like, you know what I mean? Mythomania and pseudologia fantastica is a chronic behavior of compulsive or habitual lying. Man, I had a person that I know that's close to me in my family who was definitely suffering mythomania. This motherfucker would lie about some shit. He'll be like, yeah, it'll be like I'm talking about anything. I'd be like a girl, it could be a girl I'm talking to and shit. It could be like, let's say I'd be like, yeah, man, I hit a net up the other day or whatever. And it'd be like, oh, Annette who? Be like, man, Annette Williams. Oh, Annette Williams? Oh, bro, I just got done smashing her, bro. Hell yeah, yup. Yeah, she 30 feet tall with the orange wig. Hell yeah. Like, it'd be like, bro, stop. Why would you even, what's the point of the lie? It'd be like, he done told some lies. This fool said he got an invention that's gonna change the world. He pulled out a lunchbox full of confetti with 2 pencils in it and some batteries, talking about it was a phone charger and some... Dude, I busted out laughing hysterically to the point where I almost passed out. And this man was sitting there with a straight face asking me what I'm laughing at. And I just said, man, you know what? I don't even fucking know, dude. And that was when I decided, I said, I'm not finna never let no fucking one of these liars drive me crazy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna, cause the lie was, it was the mythomania, pseudologia, fantastica was so fantastical. It was finna blow a socket in my head. I was like laughing like a maniac off of this shitty, because he talked this invention up for like an hour. And then he finally said, man, everything, because I damn near picked dude up from like a situation where he was finna get took away by the police. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on with you? Said, man, everything will make sense once I show you this invention, dog. Then he pulled out a lunchbox full of confetti and some batteries. I almost lost my mind. Then I just start fucking dying laughing. And he was sitting there like, dog, what's so funny, bro? I'm like, you know what? Nothing, man. Nothing. Nothing ain't funny at all. Like, just that shit almost took everything from me. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God. 50 Cent got a line. He said, a liar and a thief. He said he hated a liar more than a thief, because a thief is trying to take your salary, but a liar is trying to steal your reality. You know what I'm saying? And dude almost took my reality from me and shit. But I'm here. I ain't at Rogers and Hollins Behavioral Health, so obviously he ain't break me with that lie he set me up for. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, some crazy shit going on out here. Shout out to the Mod Squad, man. EB, Ricky, Annette, you know what I'm saying? Everybody checking the video out. Shout out to the replay gang checking this out right now after the live stream. Y'all are the bitch coming off, you know what I'm saying? Scoring big points for the algorithm. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, we done made it. First show of the week. Hope everybody weekend went by good. I meant to say that. And you know, we coming with another one tomorrow. Got some more interesting topics for y'all, man. And if y'all got ideas or y'all see stuff during the day, you know, that y'all want me to talk about, hit my inbox or just, you know, throw it in the chat and let me know. Oh yeah, it's all good. EB, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it, man. You know what I'm saying? Check the replay out and hit me with a topic for tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. As always, you know, that's all I got for y'all today. So until tomorrow, later, y'all. I'm gone.